What is going on, Miami Hurricanes fans? I gotta tell you something, man. I don't know if it's just, we've all been chilling, we've been sipping, we've been hanging out, we've been partying. If I'm just extra excited and happy, but that song right there slaps. Man, I think it might just be the heat of the moment, but I was getting down to that. Man, man. It is time to party it up, guys. We are going to have a good time in this stream. We are going to celebrate for a little bit, and then we're going to have some serious talks tonight. All right? Baby, what a way to end a Monday, right? To kick off the beginning of the week. I have to tell you something. FSU fans are a little salty. You want to know why? Because they didn't even get to enjoy beating us down and listening to us sulk for more than 2 days because we've already moved on. We're talking athletic directors and coaches.
This was perfect news after our chat earlier, brother.
Yep.
Can't wait to see who we get.
Hey, Nick Polly 48 coming through with the big fat 50. Nick Polly, my friend, you don't have to. We're just here to celebrate. We're here to have a good time. Thank you for the love and the support, man. I appreciate you. Exactly. Nick Polly and I had been kind of going back and forth, DMing each other, and what a way, man. What a way to kick off this week. Hype Central also came through at the beginning of the stream with the $1.99. He says, Coop for AD. Who's with me? Pass. Pass, man. If the new athletic director comes in and they bring in a new staff and they want to hire a hype man, I'll be the hype man officially on the staff. All right, I will take that in a heartbeat. We got Cypher in the building. We got Phil Romano. We got DJ. We got I'm That Boy. Where's Crip? There's Crip. We got Jose Fernandez, Caleb Morris. Oh, baby. Bidu, Miami, Jorn. Everybody is in the building tonight. So I want you guys to give me, we're gonna dive deep tonight. Okay, guys? So what we're going to do, we're going to celebrate. We're going to enjoy ourselves for a few minutes. We're going to talk about exactly what went down with Blake James. And then we're going to talk about potential replacements. I'm going to give you my list, and then I want you to give me yours. And then I'm actually going to open up the phone line and have you guys call in and kind of tell me who you potentially want or who you would like to get. And then we'll briefly touch on the head coaching stuff, and I'll tell you why here in a moment, why we're not going to dive too deep into that just yet, but do not worry, okay? Don't worry, okay? But I need to ask you guys to do something for me real quick. I want you to describe your feelings about Blake James getting fired today in one word, and I want you to put it in the chat right now. I want you to put the way that you feel in the chat about Blake James getting fired in one word. One word. Hit me with it. Hit me with it. While I go ahead and set Nick Polly atop his throne. Jeez Louise, man. He's so excited. He's so flipping excited. Let me see him. Honestly, I'll tell you, for me, that word is relieved. Relieved. 100%. Because, we knew that it was bound to happen eventually with all of the backlash, and we were just waiting. It was a ticking time bomb, and we knew it was going to go off at some point, and I couldn't stress it enough. Do you know how many people hated on me because I said, do not fire that man yet because I want Blake James gone first? I said, do not get rid of Manny unless we can Blake James, because then we're just putting a Band-Aid on it. You're not getting rid of the actual issue, the real problem. And well, what do you know? They pulled the plug, and Blake James is officially gone. I want to share with you guys the official statement from the university as well here in just a moment. I want to read your reactions, though. Hopeful. Go Senpai says goodbye. Jay Blaze says yes, sir. Felipe, amen. Justin, elated. What else do we got? Fuego, ecstatic, electric, thankful. Ooh, Crip says Cristobal. Got several hallelujahs, right? After that banger we played at the beginning of the stream. Heaven, erect. Oh, Brady. Whoa, okay.
This is what it
amen,
takes.
Spectacular, encouraging. Okay. What's going on, dude?
Your helmet.
Fire Julio Frank, our president. Nervous he makes a bad hire and we go back to where we were. Hope I'm wrong.
Now, I will say, Hurricane Logan, first off, I hope that you've been doing well, man. Thank you so much for your service as Veterans Day passed recently. And not even just on Veterans Day, but all the time, man. All the time. Thank you for your sacrifices for this country, for our freedom. Second, thank you for the $5. And third, yes, there's still a lot of reasons to be nervous about this athletic director hire. And we're going to talk about it tonight 100%. Bergie's already talking about it. Bergie, how you been, man? Exactly. We're going to talk about Jen Strawley, which
this is what it takes
terrifies me.
To wear the
I don't want to lower the hype, but we're going to talk about it.
Elated, but what's the next step?
We're going to talk about it, Stir Villain, and I'm a little bit nervous getting into this tonight. I am. My nerves are actually high initially until we can get some more information, and I'll tell you why. We have so much to talk about. Disturbed Villain, thank you for that $5, man. Thank you. So let me just go ahead and open up the stream with the official statement from the University of Miami regarding this. And we are taking phone calls tonight, guys. We are taking phone calls, so just keep that in mind. So the official statement here that we have, the University of Miami and Director of Athletics Blake James today mutually agreed to part ways. Mutually? Are we sure about the wording on that? I don't know that I buy that. But anyways, mutually agreed to part ways. Blake James, 17 years at the university, including 8 as athletic director, were marked by class and integrity. Here they go. They're going to hype him up. Just to be blunt, guys, I don't feel sorry for Blake James. He's made plenty of money. He has plenty of opportunities ahead of him. I just did not want him here anymore. I did not want him in South Florida, anywhere near the University of Miami. So I don't feel bad for him. I'm just going to be blunt. He served in several ACC and NCAA leadership roles and earned national recognition from his peers during his time with the Hurricanes. A national search for the university's next athletics director will begin immediately. This is where I start to get a little bit scared. And here's a quote from Blake James. It has been an honor to lead Miami athletics and to be a part of such a world-class institution. I'm proud of the work that we have done together, though I know there is still more yet to be achieved. I want to thank our university leadership, our athletics staff and coaches, and especially our incredible student athletes for their commitment to excellence and for believing in what the University of Miami can accomplish. I wish the Canes nothing but the best and look forward to my next endeavors. Here's what I heard. So you got to put out some kind of statement, we mutually separated, this and that. We came to an agreement, yada, 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 this and that. I am absolutely ecstatic that Blake James is gone, obviously, and I could not be happier. But here's what we need to talk about tonight. The search begins immediately. And with that search beginning immediately, what that means, do you guys realize who's probably going to be leading the way with this search? If you haven't really put 2 and 2 together, let me take you over to my other monitor here and show you. Now, I don't want, guys, we're hyped. We're excited because Blake James being gone is a good thing. It opens up so many opportunities for us. I am just saying, I want to bring it up that this does scare me a little bit. I'm telling you, this worries me slightly because I'm honestly not a fan of Jennifer Strawley. I'm not. She's currently the interim director of athletics and chief operating officer. And even if she's not the top person that makes this decision, she is going to be involved. So that's slightly scary. I don't know how you guys feel about Jennifer Strawley. Maybe it's just me. How do you guys feel about her? It's not just trying to be a bash fest, but I'm just curious. No. She's not the new AD. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying she's a new AD. I'm saying that she could potentially help look for our next AD. And she may not get involved at all, but I'm just saying that she could. That's all I'm saying, that she might be involved. Did anyone think they were going to wait to start looking? A few people did, yes. A few people did. Now, I do want to also touch on the fact that the university made an announcement that there will be no further changes for 2 weeks. Basically meaning until the end of the regular season. So if anyone thinks that they are going to go ahead and send Manny packing, that's not going to happen for at least 2 more weeks. Now, that doesn't mean that he even still has a job right now. But I'm just saying that they're not going to make any more official announcements, guys. So they're not going to come out tomorrow and say Manny was canned. They're not going to come out tomorrow and say anyone else lost their job. They made the announcement about Blake James, and that's all they're going to officially announce and put out to the public for at least 2 weeks. That's going to be the end of that. But then some things, of course, will start rolling in, and some big-time changes will be made. It's going to be a rebuild from top to bottom at this point. Now, there's still some other people involved. We've got the president, Julio Frank still up there, and some other people at the top. I honestly, if it were me, I would clean house and start all the way over completely. Everyone. All of them. But that's not going to happen. So what I would like to do tonight is discuss my wish list for a future athletic director, and then I want to feel out where you guys stand with it. And then I would also like to take phone calls from you guys, and we can research some potential athletic directors tonight, because let's just be honest here. How many of us keep up with every athletic director at every program? Right? A lot of us keep, I can name off all the head coaches. We can talk about things they've done in their past and all this. But when it comes to athletic directors, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm an AD genius. Coop, even OC? Heck no. Heck no. Nope. Not for me. So I want to see where you guys stand and who you would like to pull in. But I'm going to give my little spiel about it as well. And I also want to ask you guys something. So we're bringing in a new athletic director, right? What do you guys think about potentially renegotiating our Adidas deal? Now, I'm not saying that that's possible. I don't know what the contract is. I do know for a fact that the contract with Adidas runs until 2027. However, I know that there's always loopholes. I know that there's always exceptions. So I'm just saying that when a new athletic director comes in and we rebuild from almost the top to bottom, what do you think about potentially trying to renegotiate our Adidas deal? Either we want more money, we want out and we're going to go back to Nike, or we're going to go, I don't know, a lot of schools are going with like MJ, the Jordans. Like, what do you guys think? Honestly, I'm not saying it's a possibility. Don't clip this video and then put it up on Twitter and be like, Coop said we're leaving Adidas. No, I'm just saying, what if we reopen up negotiations when we bring in someone new? Because when we bring in an athletic director, guys, they're reevaluating everything. So I expect this dude, whoever comes in, to be like, let me see that Adidas contract. And he's like, I don't know about this. You telling me that this school's getting more money than us? You? With Adidas? We should be the Oregon for Adidas. What's going on here? I'm not standing for this. Hand me the phone. Where's my phone? Hand it to me. And he's calling up Adidas, bro. Isn't our Adidas deal very lucrative? Not as lucrative as I originally thought it was. Not as much as I thought it was, my friend. So I actually like the idea of potentially somebody coming in who's maybe ballsy enough to say, no, let's open up this conversation again and let's talk about it. Will that happen? I don't know, but I'd love to see. Anything's possible right now, guys. Hype is at an all-time high, with all this going on with these big-time changes. So I'm not counting anything out, bro. Nothing is impossible. Shoot for the stars. Aim high. Right? That's just my opinion. So let's just go ahead and get into the list of athletic directors, because I want to get the phone lines opened up tonight so we can talk about this. We can celebrate and talk about the ADs. I'm just going to go ahead and hit you right out of the gate and be blunt. Do we consider Alonzo Highsmith? I'll wait, because obviously that's a name that's tossed around everywhere. He's been hanging around the university pretty consistently, and he's been open on multiple shows saying, I'll take that job.
This is what it takes.
I want it. Do we consider Alonzo Highsmith? Just a simple yes or no.
Your helmet.
Yes or no?
Give me an AD who will bring in a coach that will not stand for players commenting on rival players' social media posts about whining, hyping them up just hours after a loss. Harley and Restrepo.
I saw it, man. I saw them congratulating the FSU player. I saw it, bro. I saw it. Thank you, Bobby, for the $10. That's why I'm saying we are setting a new standard, Bobby. When we bring in that athletic, I got to stand up. Hold up. Oh, boy, y'all are going to get me going. When we bring in a new athletic director, that needs to be a dude who sets a new standard for this program. When we bring in a new head coach, he's going to have that same mindset, that killer instinct. We don't take nothing from nobody. And we're going to let that carry over into the players' mindsets as well. So, guys, I wasn't looking for any meat on the bone. I'm strictly just asking, should we consider Alonzo Highsmith? I'm going to go in more in depth into each of these athletic directors and what they bring to the table and what would be not so good about them. But that's why I want to ask you guys. So let's see. I'm gonna roll back through the chat. What about you, Bobby? Who would you think? Who would you want? Nick Polly says no. Rocky Top Kane says yes. Fear My Controller, yes. So it's like 90% say yes, they would consider Alonzo Highsmith. So let's talk about Alonzo Highsmith then for a second. These are in no particular order for me, guys. Not at this time. At this time, I'm not ranking them. I'm literally just going to speak on names as they come to me. So let's talk about Alonzo Highsmith and his past, what he's doing now, what he's accomplished, and why maybe some people want him. So we already know that Alonzo Highsmith is a former Miami Hurricanes player. So he has ties to Miami. He has history here. He's an alumni. However, Alonzo Highsmith doesn't bring a whole lot of experience at the college level. He's not been an athletic director at the college level. Most of his professional experience when it comes to football is in the NFL.
Coop, this is from my pops, who was in the stands in 1962, watching Georgia Mira and the Canes defeat Air Force Academy 21-3.
Dang, Graham! From your pops, man. Graham, thank you so flippin' much, my man. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, with the big, fat 100. Graham in here to celebrate, man. Back in the day, 1962, bro. I wasn't even born for over 20 years after that. That's wild, man. Thank you so much for that. I will sit you atop your throne. That blows my mind to even think about that. So what I wanted to do was just bring up Alonzo Highsmith and kind of some things that he's done. We know senior personnel executive for the Green Bay Packers. He was then the vice president of player personnel for the Cleveland Browns for 2 years, and then the personnel executive with the Seattle Seahawks. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? With most of his experience being... Now, guys, he's done other things. He's had his hands in other things at the college level when it comes to basketball and softball and baseball and other things, but I'm strictly talking about a paid position somewhere, what kind of experience he brings to the table. Making some of us feel old. Man, I was born in 1989, man. 1989. So he's over here, Graham is over here talking about 1962. Like, were there telephones in 1962? Were there cars? I don't even know. But, bro, thank you so much for the 1962. I don't know. Listen, I'm terrible at history, so I couldn't tell you guys when the telephone was invented. I'm not going to lie. How's the red hair doing? I still have red hair. I'll show it here in just a little bit. So, Alonzo Highsmith, I'll just be blunt, is an option for me. He is on my list of top 5 athletic directors. Again, I'm not giving a particular order right now. But I think that either way, here's what I say about Alonzo Highsmith. There's potential here that Alonzo Highsmith does not become athletic director. And I'll tell you why. Because I feel like that at this point, they want to and they've got to bring in someone who brings athletic director experience. Proven athletic director experience. Not someone who comes in and says, you know what, I'm going to right this ship. Don't you worry. Because we've heard that before. Haven't we? I'm not downplaying Alonzo Highsmith. But I'm just saying that I think that they're going to prefer to bring someone in who has experience already at that specific position, at that specific level. Now, here's what I want to say, though. I do think that we could and should get Alonzo Highsmith involved in some sort of way. I don't know exactly how it would happen. I don't know if we could have him kind of be under someone and doing some other little things, kind of like how we did Ed Reed with Chief of Staff. But somehow we have to get Alonzo Highsmith involved because he wants to be involved. He has the right mindset, and I think that he's just a good guy to have around the program. So I do think that we would want to get Alonzo Highsmith involved in some sort of way. Do I think that they hire him as athletic director? I'm going to be bold here and probably in the minority when I say this, but I don't believe so. But it could happen. It could. Anything's possible, guys. So I'm just saying. That's my little spiel on Alonzo Highsmith. Another person that I would potentially like for them to look at, again, in no particular order. What about this guy? What about Rob Mullins? You guys can just give me yes or no's or react as we go through this list, because I'm going to give you an opportunity to give me yours. Don't worry. What do you guys think about Rob Mullins? Current athletic director at Oregon since 2010. So he's been there for 11 years. Now, hear me out for a second. This dude brings experience, okay? Don't worry. I'll give you some meat on the bone whenever I give you the athletic director. And it's like I said, don't feel weird for being like, Coop, I've never heard of this guy. I don't keep up with all the athletic directors around the country either. So don't feel weird about it. I'm going to give you some information on them so you can learn about them a little bit. And then feel free to do your own research, after the stream and kind of put you a list together. Currently the athletic director at Oregon. Here's what. He's not leaving, bro. Tony, do you know how many times I've heard someone's not leaving? Do you want to know how many times I've heard that? Nothing is impossible. Money talks. Location talks. I promise you. Nothing is impossible, and I have many real-life scenarios I can give you. I'm not saying that he will. I'm just giving you a list of athletic directors I would like to potentially have. Hear me out. What if Rob Mullins and Mario Cristobal came as a package deal? Just think about it for a second. I'm not saying he will, guys. I literally just made a video yesterday and I said that I think Lane Kiffin is more realistic than Mario Cristobal. So you guys are going to be like, Coop, why would Mario leave Oregon? I made an argument saying he probably won't. You guys are all like, oh, Coop's delusional. Guys, I'm not saying this is going to happen. Do I need to go get my megaphone and scream it into the microphone? I'm not saying that it will happen. We're playing out scenarios, hypotheticals. And then we'll discuss if we think it's realistic or not. I'm just saying, picture Rob Mullins, current athletic director at Oregon, being approached, and then obviously everyone at Miami wants Mario. It's just that Mario's doing well at Oregon, so why would he leave? They have better facilities, they have more money, all this crazy stuff. But imagine Rob Mullins and Mario Cristobal coming together as a package deal at Miami. I'm not saying do you think it will happen, but I'm saying how do you feel about that? What would you think about it? That'd be almost 2001 Canes all over again. The dude brings experience. He's not an old geezer. He's already been working with Mario Cristobal, and they have a great relationship, so that carries over. I'm just putting it out there, okay? I'm just putting it out there. Do I think that will happen? Highly unlikely. But I'm just putting it out there because absolutely nothing is impossible, guys. Nothing. So many people are going to take this stream out of context and post it online and not actually listen to what I have to say. It definitely can happen. Not likely, but can. Exactly, Nick Polly. 100%. I feel sorry for people who say that things are impossible. Impossible is not in my vocabulary, man. It's not. And you got to learn from your day-to-day life to remove that. I promise you. I'm telling you. Now, you guys already see my tabs up top, don't you? You already see them. Next up on my list. So we talked about Alonzo Highsmith. We talked about Rob Mullins. I just want instant reactions right now before we open up the phone line. What do you think about Mack Rhoades? Who knows about this guy? How do we feel about him? Current athletic director for Baylor since 2016. Now, here's another thing. What I really like about this guy is, number one, experience. I actually like the things that he's accomplished at Baylor so far. Also, guys, to some of you, age may not matter, but he's 56 years old. That's somewhat fairly young for an athletic director. Most of these athletic directors I'm putting up on the list are in their 60s. And, bro, I'm just telling you, being a little bit younger does make a difference when it comes to just your energy levels, your hype, your enthusiasm. Trying to tell me I'm wrong. I'm telling you that I like that dude is a little bit younger. So how do we feel about the Baylor athletic director? Whoa. So Bobby says 1,000% yes. Fear My Controller says attractive man. I mean, that doesn't hurt, right? Being attractive is never a bad thing. You literally said FSU had 0 chance to win. You got to learn how to be on the internet, Seth. You got to learn how things work on the internet, bro. Some people are mentioning Clemson AD. We'll look at it. I'm That Boy says want him. Donnie Reardon, yes. Bidu Miami says I like him. Very realistic option. Mac is a more realistic option than Rob Mullins from Oregon, 100%. Yes. This guy absolutely is a realistic option. And he would, guys, this guy would pick up the phone if Miami calls. 100%. This guy right here picks up the phone and has the conversation and says, what's the offer? 100%. I don't doubt it at all. So that is, again, in no particular order. That is another guy on my list that I would potentially take. Now, next up on my list is someone that I'm not huge on, but for some reason I keep seeing this name tossed around. So this guy's not particularly on my list, but I want to feel you guys out. Not fill you up. I want to feel you out. Don't get it twisted. And I want to see kind of what you guys think about it. Well, how do you feel about Gene Taylor? Kansas State athletic director since 2017. What do you think about this guy? I'm going to be real with you. I know that it shouldn't play that big of a part in the deciding factor for athletic director, but he's too old for me. He's 64 years old. He's too... Bro, does this guy... Hear me out. Don't take it the wrong way. Coop, don't judge a book by its cover. That's true most of the time. Does this dude scream Miami to you? Does Mr. Gene Taylor scream Miami Hurricanes? Does he ooze swag? Does this look like the guy that could make the right hire at head coach and put us back on top? I'm sorry, but sometimes you do have to judge a book by its cover, and I'm not interested in Gene Taylor. I'm just not. Okay, so most of us are on the same page. If you are a fan, that's okay. Express your opinion. Tell me how you feel. But that's a no from me, dog. That's a no from me. I actually have one other guy that I want to talk about personally that I'm going to bring up, but let me close out that tab and type in his name so I can show you guys. I want to see. I'm loving gauging your guys' opinions on who you want. Someone asked if we are taking phone calls tonight. We 100% are. After I finish up my little spiel here, yes, we will open it up. I don't want an up-and-coming guy. I'm just going to go ahead and tell y'all. I do not want an up-and-coming athletic director. I want someone who brings experience, but I don't want them to be an old fogey that's only going to last like 3 to 5 years because they kicked the bucket. I know that's being blunt, but I'm just being honest. Just being straight up. I want to ask you one more. How do we feel about Old Joe? Now, if you're not familiar with him, current Oklahoma athletic director since 1998. Whoa. 1998. Dude has experience out the wazoo. He's been there that long. Does he possibly want a change of scenery? Well, come on down. Come on down from Oklahoma down to the South Florida beaches. Get ready for retirement, my man. What do you think? Does Joe ooze swag? Yes? No? He's never going to leave Oklahoma? Bro, he's been there since 1998. Some of you guys underestimate the impact of money and location. I'm telling you, you guys do. You do. You really do underestimate it. Some people have talked about Tennessee's old AD. Some people have talked about UCF's old AD. Those are also options as well. And I want you to call in and give me your opinions because, like I said, I don't know every single athletic director out there. I don't. I'm just throwing some personal ones at you guys. Honestly, I can go ahead and take out Gene Taylor for me. But I would say some of my top picks in no particular order, guys, would be those 4. I don't have a 5th one yet. So I need some help putting another name on my list because right now my list consists of Alonzo Highsmith, Rob Mullins, Mac Rhodes, and Joe from Oklahoma. And honestly, I'm leaning towards my most realistic pick that could happen that I'm definitely okay with is Mac Rhodes from Baylor. But there's plenty of other options on the table, guys. Current athletic directors and people that were previously athletic directors that have a lot of experience. The number one thing that I ask, that I want, is someone who brings experience and just someone that can breathe new life into the sports at the University of Miami, into sports in general, all of them. And yes, most importantly for me, football. But I'm just saying, sports in general, an athletic director who can breathe new life into this program. And he's got to have tons of experience. That's what I want to see. That's the kind of athletic director that I want. But I do want to either way get Alonzo Highsmith involved in some sort of capacity, whatever that may be. Now, what's very interesting here, guys, and then I'm about to open up the phone lines, is we talked about the fact that no more changes are going to be made per the University of Miami for at least 2 more weeks. So we're going to finish out the regular season. Then after the Duke game, some other big changes could go down. Obviously, with a new athletic director coming in, do you guys think that there is any chance, yes or no, that a new athletic director coming in would keep Manny Diaz? My opinion is absolutely no, 0% chance that they would keep Manny Diaz. There's no way. It's just you want to bring in your guys. So far, 5 wins on the season. If we're lucky, we might win against Duke. Virginia Tech could be, and we might go to a bowl game. We might not. Manny Diaz is done, no matter what. So whoever comes in, bro, he's got to have experience, and I want someone that can get us a great head coach that's not afraid to go for the big-time, big splash hires. Do I need to go over my head coach options again real quick? Do I need to? Hit the laugh button on that one. You want the... It won't happen, bro. It won't happen. He's done. So it's going to be interesting to see how these next 2 weeks play out because, you know, many people have said Manny Diaz was already fired like a month ago, Coop. Maybe he was. But he still appeared to be coaching. Now we know it's a done deal, bro. We fired our athletic director, so you're done. How do you look on the sidelines these last 2 weeks? You basically, Manny basically, they put in his 2 weeks notice for him. That's exactly what happened. I don't want anything to do with Butch Davis. No, heck no. Okay. One last final question before I open up the phone calls. And then I can go over head coaching options. We can do that too. I want to focus on athletic director because Manny won't be officially gone for 2 more weeks. How do you guys feel about Butch Davis? No, that's what I'm saying. Butch Davis is a big, fat, all caps N-O for me. No, I want nothing to do with Butch Davis. No. Mm-mm. And that's the last question I want to ask in the chat before I open up the phone. Show me your feelings. No, I'm not interested. Nope, hit me with it. No. I mean Butch Davis in any capacity. I don't want Butch Davis at the University of Miami. I don't. Sorry. I just don't. No, it is time, guys, for Butch Davis to retire. No, and you can express your opinion. If you like Butch Davis, it's fine. Coop, come on, dude. You're actually picking ADs from winning programs to go to Miami? Yeah, Terry, I am. I told you, you underestimate the value of money and location. There have been people in winning positions that have left to go somewhere to rebuild up something new. I am not saying that Miami is in any type of position to bargain with people and be like, come to Miami, look at these great things we're doing. Our pitch is going to have to be, Come to Miami and help us rebuild. We'll pay you lots of money, and you can live by the ocean and hang out at clubs with lots of hot women. Now, is that a sales pitch or is that a sales pitch? So, all about the U83. What's good, man? You want to call in tonight? You're probably doing your own thing. I know you got your. Those Twitter Spaces are off the chain, man. Everybody talks about all about the U83's Twitter Spaces. Everybody. Zartane says sold. Boom, money, millions of dollars, location, the ocean. Suntans, women in bikinis, clubbing. You telling me that doesn't sound better than being over at Baylor? Being up in Oklahoma? I don't know. Something's wrong with you guys. I can't claim half of you. So anyways, I will briefly just talk about the head coaches that I want them, because everybody wants to talk about head coaches too, because we know that it's officially happening. But those were my current athletic director picks. I will expand my list later and probably post a video on it, but those are my 4 picks right now. Head coaches for me: Mario Cristobal, Lane Kiffin, Luke Fickell. Possibly Hugh Freeze. Why did I do a list of 4? Why did I do a list of 4 head coaches and 4 athletic directors? Coop, why didn't you make it 5? Why didn't I make it 3 or 5? Instead, I did 4. How weird, man. I'm so odd. Terrible picks? Well, then who do you pick, Dola? My number 1 pick of who I want is Mario Cristobal or Lane Kiffin, and I will happily take either one. Either one. I already posted a video about Lane Kiffin. If you guys tell me Kiffin will not come here, watch that video and then come back and talk to me. You guys tell me Mario Cristobal won't come here, go watch my other video and then come back and talk to me. I'm just saying. So if you're just tuning in, just go back and back this video up and you'll see my picks and discussion for athletic director. And then I want to focus on athletic directors tonight, guys. I want to focus on them, and then in 2 weeks, we'll talk about head coach to replace Manny Diaz. Hugh would leave Liberty ASAP. 100% he would. 100, bro, Hugh Freeze would be like, I can't get there fast enough. 100%. You give Miami less than a 40% chance to land Mario. I mean, Mario's going to be tough to get. His contract was automatically extended to 2026. It's going to be big-time dollars, but I do think, here's one thing I will say.
This is what it takes.
We can come up with the money. It would just be if he would take it.
Larry Scott or Alonso as AD.
Interesting. Larry Scott or Alonso. And I'm guessing you mean Alonzo Highsmith, right, Harrison? Thank you for the $2, man. I want to see your guys' opinion. There's not a 0% chance. Nothing is ever 0% chance. The people talk about, with Mario, him having ties to Miami, still having a home down in Miami. So does Lane Kiffin also still has a house. Not in Miami, but in South Florida. Sorry, correction. In South Florida. What I like about Lane Kiffin, you want to tell me you want me to tell you one of the things I love about Lane Kiffin? He doesn't really have any ties to Miami. He's kind of an outsider. He didn't play for Miami. And I actually kind of like that, because a lot of times how many times has alumni and bringing in previous players and people with ties to Miami worked out for us? How many times has it really worked out for us? So I actually like that Lane Kiffin doesn't have a history at Miami, doesn't have any ties to Miami. He didn't play here. I like that. Most of you are going to disagree with me, and that's okay. I'll argue back and forth all night long. I got nothing but time, bro. So I would absolutely take Lane Kiffin. And what was holding us back with guys like Mario and Lane Kiffin was Blake James. Well, guess what? That's not a problem now. Some people have even speculated that they were on the fence about Blake James because of the other things he brings to the table, but they knew that Mario wouldn't work with him, so they canned him because they're going all in on Mario. Like, they're going to drop the bag, and step number 1 was getting rid of Blake, and that was us showing that we're willing to make that change to bring in someone that Mario would want to work with. Is there anything to that? I can't verify. I don't know. but I will happily take Mario or Lane Kiffin because this has to be a splash hire. This cannot be an up-and-coming guy, or I'll be pissed. I'm serious. I don't know about you guys, but I will lose my mind. I will flip my lid if we hire up some guy because they say, this guy's up-and-coming. Look at his numbers as an offensive coordinator, bro. Or look, the number 3, 4 defense in the country. Look at this defensive coordinator. No. This guy has to have experience. So that's my spiel. That's my spiel of who I want for athletic director. Potential choices for head coaches for me. The biggest issue that I find is that, are we going to make these hires before the early signing day? Have you guys thought about that? Because that's December 15th. If we're trying to pursue Mario Cristobal, if Oregon is in the playoff talks, he's elbow deep in preparing his squad to play in the playoffs. So I almost think you're just going to have to wait. Right? That's a tough one. That one's kind of tough to really decipher. But I just want you guys to know that there are other ADs that I would be okay with pursuing, and there are other potential head coaches I would be okay with pursuing. They're just either not on my radar currently, or maybe I'm not super familiar with them. And that is why I'm about to open up the phone line right now, and I want you guys to call in and give me some of your choices for athletic directors. And if I don't know who they are, like I said, guys, don't hate on me. I don't keep up with every single athletic director in the country. Literally, we'll pull them up on screen right here on the stream, and we'll research them, and we can talk about them, why we would or would not want that person. See, I'm tired of the Lane Kiffin won't stick around argument. I know he only he only coached at Tennessee for 1 year, and he left for what he thought was his dream job. I would do the same thing if my dream job came up, bro. I would do the same thing. I don't know if you guys realize that whenever I worked at that computer company I worked for, when I left that company, they shut down. They closed their doors 2 months after I left. Why? I was the lead technician there. They needed like 6 months to a year to train a new lead tech because they didn't have the money to pay one that was already qualified. And I knew that it was going to hurt them when I left, but a dream opportunity came up. So you know what I did? I left. So I don't fault him for that. Has Lane Kiffin stayed anywhere very long? No. Most of the time it's like 2 to 3 years. But if he came to Miami and started winning, Lane Kiffin would win an ACC championship in under 3 years, possibly under 2. We would be building a statue of him on campus. He would stay for a while. If he gets us a national championship or 2, bro, I'm okay with it. They would put us in the right direction. I'm just saying, you guys, we're going to be arguing for a while tonight. Okay, let me open up the phone line. I'm ready to argue. I'm ready to talk about this. And again, I don't know the capacity of what Jennifer Strawley is going to...
Trick Daddy for AD and Uncle Luke for HC.
This is what it takes to wear the U on the side of your helmet.
Coop, I would gladly lose a recruiting class if it means landing Mario, or any other legit coach.
Boom.
We are stacked with young guys with years left.
Boom. Bobby is speaking the truth tonight. Bobby, thank you for the 5. I can 100% hop on that bandwagon. I'm right there with you. And that might be an unpopular opinion. If we have to sacrifice one recruiting class to bring in someone like Mario or Lane or something like that, 100%. Correct. Thank you for the 5, man. And Santosh with the 3. Thank you so much, man. That might be the joke of the night. For real. So let me get the phone lines opened up. What I want to discuss tonight, guys, is who you want for athletic director and why. That's what I want you to call in and talk about tonight. And maybe you name some names, like I said, that we're not familiar with. But one thing I want to touch on before I open up the phone line is at the beginning of the stream when I talked about Jen Strawley potentially having a hand in selecting the new athletic director. Again, I don't know how much truth there is to that because I don't know exactly how we're going to approach that and if she will be involved in any way. She might not be. But if she is, I don't like that. That's all I'm saying. That I'm not a fan of that. But maybe she won't, and I hope she's not. So let's get this phone line opened up tonight, man. I'm so excited for this conversation. Guys, be hyped up. Be excited. We were down and out and pouting about losing to FSU, and now we're talking about what athletic director we want because ours was just fired today. Be hyped. Be excited. These are good things, good conversations that we're having. No, Coop for AD. No, thank you. No, thank you. All about the U83. Did you want to call in? Would you guys like to hear from him? Put a 1 in the chat right now if you want to hear from All About the U83 when it comes to our athletic director and or future head coach. Put a 1 in the chat right now. I know that most of you have to know who he is. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to hear from him. And I will call him. I will call him up right now. If he doesn't have time, it's okay. If he doesn't have time, it's cool. He doesn't have. He's got his own guys. He has his own channel. He does these huge Twitter spaces. I know he's probably busy, so I understand if he can't come on. The crowd wants him though. The crowd is chanting. They are literally. They're in unison. All about the U83. They're in. Okay, give you a minute. Okay, we'll take a phone call in between. All right, guys, it is officially open. It is officially open. Have your list ready. Give me your top choice. Give me your top 3 choices. Tell me why. Argue about my choices. Tell me why mine are doo-doo. Why you don't want Rob Mullins. Why you don't want Mac Rhodes. Tell me. The AD is in charge of all sports, not just football. Correct, Chris Brown. Correct. They would be over all of the sports. Phone line is open back up, guys. 865-229-4131. Celebrating, discussing potential options for future athletic director for the University of Miami. Hello, hello. Who we got on the line tonight?
Who?
What's
Can you
up?
hear me?
Who we got? Yeah.
Hey, this is, I'll call my name Swagger from Louisiana. What's up, bro?
Swagger from Louisiana. I like it. Okay. So, go ahead.
I was going to say, here's what we need to do, okay? This is a huge night for the U, and I am hyped up, big time hyped up. That's why I wanted to call in, okay? Here's my opinion. We need to think out of the box on it. I'm not going to give you a list of names, but here's what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
In the 80s, Miami Hurricanes were the innovators of college football.
Mm-hmm.
We recruited differently. We played differently. We were bigger, faster, stronger than everybody. That's why we took over the college football world back in the 80s, early 90s. Okay, under Schnellenberger, Jimmy, and then Dennis. Okay?
Okay.
Why can't we do that again with the athletic department, all right, being in this new age with this new NIL situation, all right, that's being allowed in.
True.
And integrate some type of business acumen within the athletic department and go after a CEO type business person in sports, under like a sports administration type thing.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to get at is this: why don't we take the NIL? Why don't we take a world class city like Miami, what the NIL offers, integrate a businessman into the athletic department, surround him with the right type of athletic personnel. Okay, I don't know who those names are because I'm not an expert in that field. Okay, we're not talking coaches, we're talking administration.
Exactly.
But surround him, all right, with the type of athletic people, the support system that he needs, and utilize the NIL in the city of Miami to draw talent behind a major head coach.
Interesting.
What do you think?
Okay. I'll be 100% upfront. I had not really considered that scenario yet. But I am I will say this: I'm very intrigued. And that's something that you are the first person I have heard anything like that. But man, that's very interesting. What do you guys think in the chat about that as well? Because we didn't even touch on that, period. I haven't heard anyone talk about a scenario like that.
So you talk about the head coach. Look, we all know Manny's gone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No new AD, and Manny's gone. No new AD is going to keep the trash from before. Okay. Yep. Let's put that to bed. So you talk about the head coach needs to be a splash hire. Totally correct. Why not double down on that splash by basically integrating a new type of athletic department that basically brings in the NIL under a whole new kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of hierarchy system with that in mind, with the business side of it in mind.
So
I'll leave it at that.
So kind of like how you touched on us kind of setting the standard in the 80s, we're setting a new standard for today's times and kind of doing something different than any other program in the country right now.
Correct. On how the athletic, how the new stance on how athletic departments need to be run. From a business standpoint, from a fundraising standpoint, basically, and look, Matt, can't say his name here. I guess somebody earlier I was listening to on another show said, yeah, this is all about football. But athletic department standpoint, you got basketball, you got baseball, you got all that other stuff in there. Why can't we revamp and revitalize what an athletic department looks like? The opportunity is right here in front of us. What an athletic department looks like in the 21st century. Using the NIL, using a business acumen that you bring in, okay? Could be a person, could be a panel. I mean, I don't know exactly what it would look like, but I'm just talking about thinking outside of the box.
Yep.
And doing that.
I actually, to be honest with you, I love that idea. That is actually something that I could get behind 100%. And it's crazy to say that just right out of the gate because I realized the thought had not even crossed my mind until you brought it up. But after just thinking about it, even just a few seconds into the conversation here, that possibly could work. And I do dig that. Of course, the things that would make it possibly difficult is things that are out of our control. Like would, the people that up top that are going to be making these decisions be willing to step outside the box or go outside their comfort zone and do something totally different like that. But those are things that we don't get to decide that, right? So
right, no, correct. But I just think that is that is something that immediately puts Miami back on the map because we've been off too long.
Yep, dude. And I say that with a lot of things. Whenever these are conversations for another day, but when talking about the turnover chain and other different things, when I talk about being the team that sets the standard for things. So, man, I truly love the idea of it, and thank you so much for calling in. And really, the cogwheels are turning in my brain now because now I've got some different names floating around and some different scenarios, and this opens up a whole nother can of worms, but in a good way. Because this is something that everyone, I want them to be excited about. Like, this is such a huge night. I think some people are underestimating the impact of this. Like, we are to an extent getting to kind of start over. So this is huge.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, I haven't been this excited for Miami football. Yeah. It's been a long time.
So I was saying, I'm
a little older. It's been a long time.
I saw a ton of FSU fans complaining on Twitter because they were like, "Man, we didn't even get to troll Miami fans for more than 2 or 3 days, and now they're on. Now they're so excited about the athletic director stuff. They ain't even paying us any attention." And I was rolling, man.
You know what, Coop? A 3-6 FSU team got the better of a 5-4 Miami team. Forget that game. I'm not even worried about that game. I'm really not. I mean, in the grand scheme, I don't like losing my rival, but at the same time, look. That right there look at the result. Look where we are tonight. I couldn't be more excited for this program. And there's so many things we could tinker with. One more thing, I'm going to throw this out there.
Okay.
I'm taking a lot of heat for it. But within that structure or circle, in that new organizational hierarchy, if you have a football operations personnel department or whatever, include Butch Davis in it, who is now available. I'll leave you with that.
Okay. I will have to let that one marinate for a bit because I've been so against bringing Butch Davis back to Miami for a couple of different reasons. However, in your specific scenario, I see how there could be some things that could work well there. I will be willing to admit that. So I'm open-minded.
Operational director, give them, you'd really have to sit down and figure out all these titles and positions. But man, I tell you what, we are in such a prime spot right now where we can really revamp this whole thing.
Yeah, the one thing that
gives me goosebumps
that I want to say with closing up with your call here is I just hope and pray that we don't rush this. I don't want it to be something that, I know this isn't a realistic scenario, but I'm just saying, we name an athletic director tomorrow, or something like that.
No.
Like, let's take our time. Let's explore all of our options, lay everything out on the table, really think this one through, because I know that people probably say this every single time this happens at every university, but this has got to be it. Like, to actually get a new athletic director, to get a new head coach, there's going to be other huge coaching staff changes. That doesn't happen that often. So we have to make this right. It has to be.
100%. 100% absolutely on board with you.
So, my friend,
I appreciate it, Coop.
Yep, excellent call, by the way, and I thank you for taking time out of your night to call into my show, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Coach.
All right, have a good night. Bye-bye. So, how do you guys feel about that? That just kind of blew my mind. I'm going to be honest, because that was not even on my radar. And the guy's like, let's set a new standard. Let's do it different. Let's bring in a CEO type guy and build around it. Like, Okay. Coop, do you want to keep Rhett? I won't be mad if Rhett stays, but I won't be mad if he goes. Does that make sense? So there are obviously some things that I dislike about Rhett Lashley, but at times he's shown flashes. So I won't be mad if Rhett goes, but I won't be mad if he stays. I'll go either way. More than likely, most people are probably not going to be retained. If they get rid of Manny, which they are, when the new athletic director comes in, everyone's gone, man. Like, that's it. That's it. Everybody's gone. You guys agree? Bergie says if Manny goes, everyone goes. Yes. No, Rhett needs to. Everyone will be gone. It won't matter who you like or dislike. They're gone. 100%. So, do you guys, all about the U83, are you still here? Do you want to have a quick conversation tonight? Again, don't feel obligated, man. I'm literally going to hold you a spot if you want it. Oh, yeah, a new coach will want a new OC. A new AD will want a new head coach. So, it's just the way the cookies crumble. It's the way it works. And I'm okay with that, man. This is our chance, guys. This has got to be the one. I still don't think that you guys are hyped up enough. This is our opportunity, man, to build what we want this thing to be. Do you understand that? Man. I smell a fresh start. New beginnings in a positive direction. All right, he's still here. Does he want in? Do you want in all about the U83? If not, we'll go ahead and roll over to the next caller. Ed Reed for athletic director. I'm going to be honest, that's a pass for me. I do not want Ed Reed as the athletic director, and I would not want Ed Reed as the head coach. How do you guys feel about that? I told you that, I'm okay if a guy does have ties to Miami. That's okay if he's an alumni, whatever else, whatever. But Ed Reed as athletic director, no. That we need someone with experience, or I will listen to the idea of the CEO argument from the previous caller. But I'm not bumping Ed Reed up to athletic director. Heck no. No, and that's no shade at Ed Reed. It's not that. But just because he was a great Miami Hurricanes football player does not mean that he just gets to slide right in there and be athletic director. No, we need someone who comes in and they go to work day one and they're not needing to learn anything. They already know what to do. Do we have the money to bring in a top-tier coach? Yes. There is no way, guys, think about this. For everyone who's telling me we don't have the money, do you think that we would fire our athletic director? After everything that's happened, all the negativity, how far our program has fallen, do you think that we would fire our athletic director, knowing that we have to bring a new one in, also bring in a new head coach, and clean house and replace our entire coaching staff? Do you think we would do that if we weren't prepared with the money? We know it will cost a lot. Why would we even make that jump? Why would we take that leap if we don't have the money? They're going all in. They're going all in. I think it finally got to a boiling point. It finally got there to where they said, we are sick and tired of this. We're done. Spend the money, blank check, get someone in here. And I know that they are going to push for Mario. They are. Whether he takes it or not is a whole nother scenario. But they will push for Mario 100%. They will. With Blake James gone, Mario Cristobal will be target number 1. Now, he may pick up the phone and say, I'm not interested. He may turn it down. But I'm saying that it will be someone that they will pursue. Right? No more science experiments, Jamie. 100%. Let's see if All About the U. Whoop, I called the wrong person. Oops. Hold on. I called the wrong person. I go back. Why is Coop calling me at 10:15 on a Monday? Let's call All About the U83 and see if he picks up. You guys know his famous line, so we're going to see. You'll know if it's him.
What's up, fucker?
There it is. I warned him right before you picked up. I said, you guys know his famous line, so you will know if it's him. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Just enjoying today's news. It's good to see it finally be official after it's been pretty much true for about the past 6 weeks now.
Yeah.
And
there has been plenty of people. Let me let it read this out real quick if you don't mind, and then we'll jump into this.
I've got the guy. Give me a call. Just left you a VM.
Okay, Graham. Graham, type in the chat, you've got the guy. So I don't know if you mean a caller or you mean, no, you mean the person. Okay, and you left me a voicemail. Put your area code in the chat, Graham, and I will give you a call after All About the U83. Okay? So just drop the area, don't put your full phone number. Just drop your area code, and I'll give you a call. So yeah, what I wanted to say All About the U83 was I didn't want to take away from, there were plenty of people that did call it. Let's see. I don't want to start naming off names because I'll leave people out. And I'll just be upfront, I've never doubted any of those people. I just, on my particular channel, I just let things play out and then put up a video once it's official. Because I know a lot of people like to do breaking news and other different things, and that's good. Because that there are people, you can go and get that content from them. I just personally don't do it here. But there were plenty of people that have been calling this for over a month, 100%.
Yeah, it's. I know there's some out there who debated, oh, that's not true, or why are they waiting so long? What it came down to exactly, I can't say. I'm sure there was a lot of just contracts and getting their ducks in a row, and it's just interesting how this meeting this Thursday is happening with former players that's all they're really saying right now, but it's not just going to be former players who are there.
Right.
But, this happens, and it won't surprise me come Saturday if another domino falls.
Yeah, and as you said just then at the beginning of that, it's not as simple as when everybody was calling for Blake James' head. They don't literally just knock on his door and say, you're fired, get out. Like, there's a lot more involved than just that. But either way, here we sit, November 15th. Earlier today, it was made official by the university. I have to ask you, if you want to save it for a video or for Twitter or anything like that, feel free to. I don't know. I know who you potentially have on your list for head coaches, but do you have like a number one guy for athletic director? Like that you would like to see in that position?
I mean, I've heard the guy from Baylor. I can't remember his name right now, but I know that's been a popular one. But everything that's trending, that's being talked about, that looks like the direction they're going in is Gino Toretto will be made AD and Alonzo will take over football operations.
And I could see that being a possibility. Absolutely.
That's something that's something to talk about, and it's starting to gain a little steam.
Now, how do you guys feel in the chat about that? How do you feel about that combo, that scenario? Because I've had a lot of people in my streams tell me that there's no way that they would bring Alonzo Highsmith in a slightly lesser role or putting him just over football. But, I mean, they could make something like that happen if they wanted to.
Well, I mean, it'd be an unsettled precedent that's never been seen before. To my knowledge, there's no FBS program that has an AD and then somebody else is mainly running football.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously Alonzo. He was originally wanted to be the chief of staff here, He butted heads with Manny Diaz and Blake James because they both knew he was smarter than both of them combined.
Yeah.
It would be if that works out, great. There's probably multiple layers beyond that. If you want to keep Ed Reed here as chief of staff, that's probably the best way to do it, is to bring those two in.
Fair. Now, I'm mostly trying to keep my conversations about athletic director, but are you on board the Lane train with me as well? Or are you against it? I can't remember.
Oh, Lane's been my number one pick.
Let's go, man. I wish, I keep meaning to put a little choo-choo kind of, train effect on my little stream deck where it plays sound effects for every time we talk about potential head coaches. But heck yeah, man. Let's go. I made a whole video talking about Lane Kiffin yesterday, and I would say 50% of the comments were negative and hate towards me because people cannot believe that I would want Lane Kiffin to be the head coach at the University of Miami. And I even laid out all the reasons, and I said, here's why I would want him. I said, here's why he would come, and I said, here's why he wouldn't, because there's some very obvious reasons why he wouldn't come to Miami. But I'm just saying, I can't believe the amount of people that, if Lane Kiffin wanted to come here, would turn him down.
Well, with all due respect to some of those individuals out there, some of those same individuals want Ray Lewis for head coach. And
fair.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. So, no matter who is brought in, there's going to be a portion of the fan base that say this is wrong. He's not going to succeed here. It's not going to work out. He's going to be gone in 3 years. Unless Nick Saban walks the Coral Gables and says, I want the job, there's not going to be 100% unanimous happy
right
crowd. So,
hey, and even then, I don't even know anymore, to be honest with you, because they lost to Texas A&M, so I saw a ton of fans that were like, he lost, we don't want him. And I was like, if you're only searching for undefeated head coaches in 2021, your list is thinning out. So,
yeah. I mean, it's anybody who doesn't want Nick Saban is. I clearly need you to question your football IQ.
They exist. They're out there. I promise you. I've seen a couple. I've met a couple of them.
Then I will keep saying this as nicely as I can. Stop drinking the bong water.
Fair. Okay, so man, I really just wanted to fill it out and just see kind of if there was any kind of dream team that you wanted to put together, or if there was anyone that you were like, I wouldn't touch that guy with the 10-foot pole. Please do not bring him to the University of Miami. But that's really kind of all I wanted to talk about.
No to Tom Herman. No.
Fair.
Yeah. He had 10 times the financial backing at Texas than Miami may ever do, and he still couldn't get the job done.
And actually, that you say that, I have seen that floating around Twitter pretty often.
Mm-hmm.
That a lot of people like that name, and I'm right there. I have that guy's not on my radar either at the moment. So,
yeah, I know he's on some people's list, but it's no. That's if I had one name that I would say no to, it's his.
Okay.
But before I go, I'll pass on this one little piece of nugget.
Okay.
One little thing. I said it during a Twitter space before I hopped on here, and I can't say a ton right now, but I have a buddy of mine who knows someone that is very well connected within situations like this. I think it's about the most clouded way I can say.
Fair. Keep it vague.
Because I'm waiting to hear back more information on this. There is a head coach out there that is in the majority of people's top 5 lists. And there is smoke building.
I know I'm sitting here silent, but I'm going through my top 5 in my head, and I'm not going to name any names. You're not going to name any names either. I'm just going through the list in my head. And I think I know who you're referring to. So
I'll say this right now. It's not Butch Davis. So let that go.
Thank goodness. Thank you, because I would be pissed. Okay.
But when I was doing my space earlier, he called me. I know tried to speak to him earlier tonight. I sent him a text about an hour and a half ago. Haven't heard anything back yet. But if it continues to go the way it's at least looking, it's in the very early stages. Nothing's imminent, so
and
chill.
If it's who I think it is, that's what I always tell people. I know they get tired of hearing this. When I say I have people that send me texts and stuff too, I just, again, I don't choose to really dive deeper into it. They'll say, hey, I got such and such information from this person. Do with it what you want to do. And then I just kind of leave it be. Because like I said, there are people that have channels that do that. And again, that's good. That's awesome. Because that gives fans another thing. You can go in there and talk about it and chat about it, see if it comes true. And a lot of times they are right. So that's awesome. I just don't typically, again, run with it. But I have had a couple people throw some names at me as well. But it's been two totally different names, like two opposite ends of the spectrum. So that's why I'm really not running with it. Like I don't know from usually people that sit. So it's going to be interesting. We'll just leave it vague and keep it at that for now.
Just to give you a little more, this same person who's telling me this information, there was some news that happened in the off season this past. He was 90% accurate, and he was calling this 2 weeks before it happened.
Yep. The person that's telling me I know this is kind of weird because people are feeling left out because we're being super vague about all of it.
Look, if I could say who it is, but he's told me like if when it's legitimate and it's full go, I can say who it is. But
fair. The person that is giving me a name that I feel like is pretty likely is the same person that told me about that they were in contact with N'Kosi Perry and his parents, and they were telling me this stuff like a couple weeks before he hit the portal, and it was also the same person that was telling me about all the Mark Richt stuff and all that, and the only one I ever ended up talking about was N'Kosi Perry. But so this guy's been pretty spot on, but like I said, I got someone else. I'm not even gonna lie. I try to be honest with my viewers. I got somebody else telling me something totally different. So that's why I'm like, I'm just gonna back away and let it play out. So,
yeah, just let everything play out. It's going to be. We're not gonna fire Manny tomorrow and then have a new coach by Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is gonna take a few weeks. So just sit back, enjoy the rumors. We're moving forward. So,
all right, my man, all about the U83. It is always a pleasure. Everybody, for the most part, knows who you are. But if I was going to shout you out, guys, he's going to get mad at me. If I was going to shout you out, am I shouting out your YouTube, your Twitter, both? What are you? Because I know you're really active on Twitter and you're doing the Twitter Spaces and all that stuff. But I want to shout you out in some sort of way.
Whichever you prefer, man. I've been more active on Twitter than I've been YouTube recently. And
okay.
That's not just because I've enjoyed it more. It's just I just haven't made time for YouTube.
I got you. With you. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna link your Twitter down in the chat. Somebody go hit that man up. Come on, you guys already know who he is, but if you weren't aware, he also does YouTube videos as well. He was the guy. What would you say you're most famous for?
God, breaking bottles.
Okay, I was gonna say I have a couple things in mind. I was gonna let you answer it yourself and see what you said. But check him out, entertaining guy. He's a really cool dude. I would consider him a friend. I don't know if he would say the same about me, but that's okay.
We are.
But hey, man, it was a pleasure having a conversation for a few minutes with you tonight. Thank you for taking time out of your night to call into my show. And I'm just really looking forward to these next coming weeks and what's going to happen. And we're going to take this thing in a positive direction and get this back on track.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Everybody have a good night. Sir, enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Bye-bye. So that's the thing, guys. I know that you hate that as much as I would hate, a YouTuber or a content creator being vague and saying I'm being fed this information and that, but I can't tell you anything. It's why I don't make videos about that kind of stuff. Like I said, there are other channels that you can go follow that will talk about rumors and talk about information that they get. I am telling you that the people that do give me information, because I've been having people text me that have inside information, so to say, for maybe like 3 years now. But again, I can't guarantee the validity of it. It's been right maybe 75% of the time, but there's been times it's been wrong. There's plenty of times it's been wrong. So I'm seeing a couple of names thrown out there, but I don't want to commit and say something because, like I said, they're totally opposite ends of the spectrum, which is why I myself am confused.
This is what it takes.
So I'm looking at both of these texts, and I'm like, what?
I'm a call with a 706 number. I got a good list set.
I'm like, you guys are telling me two totally different things, and both of you have been right pretty often in the past, so what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So for that reason, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to give you my personal list, and we'll rock with that. We'll go from there. So thank you, Harrison Ford, for the two. I need to get Graham in here. Graham, I ain't going to do it. Don't you worry, Kilo. We're not getting into that conversation. That's a whole nother type of video and stream. Graham, I'm not going to lie. I missed the area code. I'm so sorry. I'm looking for it. Left me a voicemail. Graham, I'm looking. Graham, what was your area code? Get your list ready, guys. Give me your number 1 AD. Give me your top 3 ADs. Give me your top 5 even. You do like Kiffin WA? Me too, man. Me too. Him or Mario Cristobal's home run higher. Home run. Graham, I'm still looking. I'm looking for your area code, man. Where's it at? I'm looking. Where's it at? Backwoods. What's up, man? Let me get the phone line open back up. I'm trying to find Graham's area code. He says he left me a voicemail, but I'm not seeing his area code down in the chat. Coach needs to be feared, not just respected. True. There's a balance there, right? You'd take Stoops over Kiffin? Really? You would take Stoops over Kiffin? I'm actually not a huge fan of Ken Dorsey either. Are you talking about Ken Dorsey as head coach? No, you ain't talking about Ken Dorsey as head coach, are you? Surely not. I mean, I'm not going to hate. For me personally, I'm like, what? Are you sure? Maybe OC, but head coach? No. What's going on? Is this Graham?
It sure is, brother. How you doing?
What's up, man? I've got to now. Is this your first time calling into one of my shows?
Very first time.
Okay,
my maiden voice, my friend.
Perfect. All right. So what I'm gonna do, my man, is I'm gonna save your number in my contact list. That way we can get you through quicker next time. So beautiful. I noticed. I know the chat doesn't see this, but we're talking about athletic director wish list, or you can tell me what your more realistic option is, or give me a top 3 or top 5. You text me and said you've got an athletic director in mind. So who might that guy be?
Friend. That guy would be Danny White, who is the current athletic director at the University of Tennessee.
Okay. Now, so this is an interesting.
I'm assuming you want me to qualify that statement.
Yes, and what I'm most interested in is I've already been very vocal about it. Whenever I say nothing is impossible, the reason I wanted to talk about him in depth a little bit is the fact that of course, him only being at Tennessee since 2021. So let's talk about it.
And most guys don't jump ship from the SEC in year 2, correct?
Correct.
Now, here's the deal. He does have ties to Ole Miss. Now, we all know who the Ole Miss is.
I know where we're going with this, but continue. Yes.
Okay.
Whoa. So people are saying Tennessee sucks. You have to understand, you have to look at the bigger picture when it comes to Tennessee.
Well, Tennessee sucked for a long time, so
right.
That's not going to change.
Right.
But here we go. This guy was at Buffalo from 2012 to 2015, and we all know how Buffalo's been. They've found success. Then he was at UCF, and guess who he hired? And I understand Nebraska's not doing well right now, but Scott Frost did pretty dang well when he was at UCF, excuse me. And then he hired Josh Heupel. And now he's at Tennessee. Now he's wanted to move up for a while. And this is a Kentucky boy we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
But I bet you anything, he and Lane might start, commiserating. And who knows what could happen. Because that Lane Kiffin, that is, he wants to be in South Beach.
He does. People do not believe me for some reason.
This is what
He
it takes.
wants.
Oh, no, I believe you.
He
I
wants to
believe you.
win a national championship
New
with a
AD
Power
and new
5
coach
program.
coming soon.
And if he
Let's
could do
go
it in
Kings.
South Florida, I think he would jump at the opportunity.
Absolutely. And I think that those two guys could be a marriage made in heaven. And
Okay.
I think it's realistic. Even though he's at Tennessee, but Tennessee, like you said, sucked this year. So who knows? He might want to just jump ship and be a package deal with Lane.
Possibly. As I say, nothing to me, guys. I keep repeating myself, and I know I've already told you a million times, and you know that, Graham, but nothing's impossible. Money talks, location talks, contracts. Oh, yeah, Coop, there's this contract, and this guy's locked into this. There's a way around just about everything. So
no, I agree, and I think Rob Mullins is a pipe dream, right? Who knows? I like you said, you got to pick up the phone and have the conversation.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you got to at
think
least
in
reach
terms
out
of-
and engage interest.
Yeah, and the previous caller, I'm not sure his name, in terms of seeking to corporate America. I mean, that's not a bad idea. It's thinking outside the box, but at the same time, we want to hit the ground running, and I think we need to get some guy in there who is just absolutely dedicated to athletics. That's his number one priority, day in and day out.
Yep.
And we need to just top to bottom scrub this whole thing down, and let's get that swag back, baby.
He fits the bill for a slightly younger athletic director. He's only 42. As
He's
I said,
41.
I don't want a 65-year-old old fogey in there at athletic director.
No,
so that's just personal
that's the
preference.
last thing we want.
But I do
That's
also,
the last thing we want.
I think we do need to have the conversation at some point and talk about the fact that, LSU is going to be looking for a new head coach. USC is going to be looking for a new head coach. Now, for us, we're like, okay, well, we're in that mix too. And I have a lot of people argue, well, they would want to go to LSU or they want to go to USC. What we have to look at is the fact that this is a good thing, but I'm just saying the fact that now we also have to hire a new athletic. We have to replace our athletic director. So we got to figure out that balance of, LSU and USC and all these schools potentially kind of already reaching out to people. And then we've got to get an athletic director in there. And then we got to look for coach. So I'm just saying we got to figure out a timeline here of how we're going to work this thing. Because we don't want LSU or USC snatching up potential guys that are big splash hires for us that we're super interested in. But we also have a couple of things that we got to line up, but could also at least be, as we talked about, kind of gauging interest and making some phone calls possibly.
I'm looking globally speaking for the entire program. Obviously, we're talking about football first, but this is a guy who brought in Bobby Hurley to Buffalo, and they won a conference title. He got Nate Oates. They won 2 conference titles. This guy wants to win conference titles, is my point.
I got you.
So I think, it's worth a look. Maybe it's not the sexy hire that everyone wants. And who knows what the finances look like. Last time I saw, I think we had $100 million budget plus for the athletic program. So, it's time to put the money forward and turn this thing around.
Yep, exactly. And I think people have to understand that, when you bring all the Miami fans together, there are people that are going to think one guy's realistic and somebody else thinks he's not. So, guys, we're just putting out there who we would each like to get. And then, if we think it's realistic, not realistic, and then everybody can just react to it accordingly in the chat with how you feel. So,
yeah, you mentioned LSU. So, Scott Woodward obviously has ties there. I mean, he hired Steve Sarkisian, Chris Peterson, Jimbo Fisher. I mean, it's hard to overlook that, but
yeah,
he's going to cost a lot more.
Right. Yeah, we've got to,
So,
as we've already discussed multiple times, this has got to be the one. It's got to be. Because we reach a boiling point to where, they're bashing us on ESPN. The fans are just completely fed up. Ticket sales dropping, like it's just been bad. So this either way, what's kind of cool in this scenario is that either way everyone gets kind of hyped up because it's a fresh start. It's new beginnings, right? Literally anything is possible at this point because we don't know. We don't have an athletic director yet. We don't know who the new head coach is going to be. So either way, even just doing this, making this move creates some excitement. And I love that.
No, I absolutely agree. And I do love your choice of Mac Rhodes. I mean, you look at Tony Levin, Tom Herman, Barry Odom, Matt Rule, all those guys. I mean, that guy wants to win too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I definitely would approve of that hire.
Yeah,
I would not.
That's
not
another guy that I think would not hesitate to pick up the phone if Miami called him. 100%.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. So anyway, that's my name. I just thought I'd throw it out there. Not too many people know about him, but he wants to win, that guy. And yeah, he's on kind of a lower tier SEC squad right now. And yeah, it's maybe look the other way, when you're leaving a program after 1 year. I don't know. I mean, hell, if we're going to hire Lane Kiffin, let's see what look at what he did at Tennessee. He left after 1 year. So
yep.
Money
It's
talks,
true.
baby.
It's true, man. I'm going to be blunt with everybody here. People always preach about loyalty and this and that. Man, I'm telling you, if a dream opportunity came up for me and the money was right and the location was right, I'm out. I'm just being straight up with you. People have to understand. It's really easy to stand on the outside and be like, I wouldn't do that. That's sleazy.
Right.
There's no way I would do that. And then it's different when you're actually in the position and they're handing you millions of dollars and you have a family. And like I said, it's a better place, maybe where you want to live location wise. Like, guys, you have to put yourself in these people's shoes. And I would jump at the opportunity for a dream job.
Yeah,
but,
Danny White, I mean, he's in the South already, man, so he knows the deal. He was in Florida. I don't know. I think it's a guy worth interviewing at the very least.
I feel you. I got you. It's all right.
If he's interested.
Graham, I appreciate you calling in tonight, my friend. I will get you added to my contact list. And also, thank you very much for the support tonight. This was a spur-of-the-moment stream. I didn't have a whole lot of things planned or anything. I wanted to go live and celebrate with all the Miami Hurricanes fans. So thank you so much for showing me the love tonight.
It's a great day. Go Canes, and we'll go grab some tacos when I come visit.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate you.
All right, brother.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, now somebody said, hear that? Coop has a price. Now, I'm not talking about I wouldn't root for another team. I'm not a sellout, but I'm talking about when it comes to my job. Like my literal job? Yeah, bro. Offer me more money for a better job. I won't even put in my 2 weeks notice at my current job. Screw it. You only live once, bro. Put in my 2 week notice and pass up on a dream job. You're going to give me more money? Is that a better place? Yeah. Count me in. Guys, you only live once. What's going on? Who we got on the line tonight?
Hey, this is Alan. And I'm from Michigan.
Alan from Michigan. All right.
Yeah. And I'm going to keep it short and simple. So, I like the Clemson AD. I feel like he might bring some championship-worthy atmosphere. And then the second thing I think we should do is check on Iowa State head coach. I think he's an underdog. I think he knows how to coach players already with low, like, they're pretty good players, but I feel like
this is what it takes.
4 stars
to wear the U
that we get
on the side of your helmet.
We can make
Go
our team
Canes.
probably pretty well.
I got you.
And,
So
then
go ahead. Sorry, I'll let you finish. My bad.
and then because it's gonna be important which AD we're gonna get. I feel like we need to focus on the stadium situation. I think that's a big thing that we should focus on too.
Man,
because you was talking about how Adidas, but I feel like if we figure out our stadium, the college students and people from Coral Gables and Miami Beach and all those people down south to be able to travel and go to the games. So
yeah, it would be pretty wild because we all know the limitations with the available land in South Florida when it comes to building a stadium. And I realize that we've had this conversation many times and we can't seem to find a solution or a way that it would work. But it would be, guys, this is purely hypothetical, okay? I know. See, and we already have people in the chat like Ken saying we're not getting a stadium. No one is saying we are. I'm just saying, wouldn't that be just the craziest thing ever for a new athletic director to come in and they're like, all right, let's get a team together and let's put a stadium somewhere. Like, it'd be wild, man. I know it ain't gonna happen, but I'm just saying.
So, I know it's not gonna happen, but I always thought, I don't know, I don't like how it's structured, but the Miami Marlins Stadium is a possibility of something that is close enough where they could probably have a couple games there instead of people driving all the way to Miami Gardens,
I got you. Yeah, going back to your athletic director choice with the current athletic director at Clemson, how does everybody feel about him in the chat? He's been the athletic director at Clemson since 2012, so he's been there for a long time. Would it be possible? I mean, he's been a part. Yeah, Clemson is down and out right now, but they've had a winning program. They've been impressive throughout the years. They've had runs. Is it possible that maybe he would want a change of scenery? Things are trending down kind of for them right now. We're looking to kind of start over. Would he possibly come down to South Florida? Do you guys think that that's a realistic option? Do you think he would even be interested? Is that someone you would be interested in? He's not, I'll be honest with you, he's not necessarily on my radar. He's getting up there as well. He's 63 years old. As we said, he's been at Clemson since 2012. He has the resume for it, but I don't know if me personally, if I'm interested. But I see where you're coming from with the name.
How do you feel about Iowa State head coach? Because he has like 3 stars and no star players.
I mean,
and they're winning games. That's my dark horse.
I'm impressed with what he's done there. For me, and it could be the wrong way to approach this. I understand that because I hate whenever people are just really bullheaded and they won't look at any other options. But for me, my top 3 or top 5, I don't know if I can settle for anyone outside of that, just to be honest with you. I want a big name guy that's against somebody like Mario Cristobal or Lane Kiffin. And it's going to be tough for me to settle for anything less, honestly, with us doing a complete rebuild like this.
Yeah, for me, Mario is my number one. But if we can't get anyone else, just in case, I feel like that's one of my, safer options,
Yeah. And I do see where you're coming from with the argument because, if he can win with that kind of talent, what could he possibly do with the talent that we would have here at Miami?
Yeah, because there's going to be other teams and other, athletic directors and other just colleges, fighting to get coaches. And, sometimes the big names, they do crazy things and, they decide on, they're like, oh, I want to retire or, they just want to do something else.
I got you.
So
all right, man. I got you down. I appreciate you calling in, giving your opinion on who you would like to see as the athletic director at Miami. And then we had a little bit of head coaching talk as well and a little bit of stadium stuff plugged in there as well. I appreciate you calling in tonight, man. And just an exciting night for Canes fans.
Yeah.
All right. You have a good night, bro.
You as well.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, so interesting. Current Clemson athletic director. Again, someone that's not personally on my radar, but we're all going to have different opinions, right? I do need to give a shout-out to LOL305 with the $5 donation. He says, new AD and new coach coming soon. Let's go, Canes! That's the energy I'm looking for, LOL305. And Mike Williams coming through with 2 $5 donations. The first one says, go Canes, and the second one says, I love my Canes. Appreciate you, Mike Williams. Thank you. Butch is too old, yes. So someone was asking who the current Oklahoma athletic director is. Bro, I'm not even going to try to say his last name. I've just been calling him Old Joe. Old Joe. That's what I've been calling him. And he is actually on my list. My list consists of potentially Alonzo Highsmith in some sort of role. Rob Mullins from Oregon. Mac Rhodes from Baylor. And Old Joe from Oklahoma. That's kind of my list right at this moment. But again, I'm not... Guys, I'm not completely locked in. I'm open-minded. I'm willing to listen to arguments for other potential athletic directors. Let's be open-minded with this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, LSU is going to go in big time. Honestly, so is USC. So we got to compete with these schools. And as I said, it's going to be interesting with us needing an athletic director and a coach. Jimbo Fisher? WA. No comment for now. What's going on? Who we got on the line tonight?
Hey, Coop, it's Christian. How are you?
Christian, what's up, man?
Hey, real quick, three names I want to give you.
Okay.
Just do your homework on them.
Now,
and everyone in the chat, do your homework on these people because.
Now, is this for athletic director?
Yes.
Okay, so 3 names for athletic director. Now, I'm curious because you're saying to do research. Are these going to be names that maybe some are not familiar with? Let's find out.
No.
Okay.
Okay, first one is the guy from Iowa. Okay.
Okay.
Look at where they are right now. His name is Gary Barta.
Yeah, and what I'm going to do is as you say the names, I'm going to pull up a screen just so I can show everyone who this person is. I realize you can't, again, judge just by how they look. Their looks don't actually determine how good of an athletic director they are, guys. But I'm just kind of pulling it up so they can put a face with the name. So that is,
the guy from Iowa.
That is option number 1. Who's your number? Now, I got to ask you real quick. Are these in any particular order or just 3 names?
No.
Okay, gotcha.
Just 3 names.
Okay,
but
so
impressive people.
Gotcha. So who would be numero 2 on that list?
Numero 2
This is what it takes.
John Cunningham,
you,
the guy from
your
Cincinnati.
Great news today. The head of the snake is gone by Blake James. Manny, your next greenhouse cans
look
for
at
life.
what he's doing with Fickle.
Full score,
They're
full
ranked
score,
number
thumbs
2
up,
in the nation
thumbs
right
up,
now.
hooray, hooray.
Getting ready to possibly go into the college playoffs.
So that,
and think about this. Think about this, though. If he can actually possibly bring down Fickle with him.
That's interesting because, obviously Luke Fickell is in the conversation when it comes to a potential head coaching search. So I haven't seen a lot of people mention John Cunningham, the athletic director at Cincinnati. Now, I noticed that he's been there since, it looks like, December 18th, 2019. It looks like that was when the official announcement was made. So I'm not super familiar with this guy. I will need to do some research on him. But it is also very apparent, as you said, just looking at what Cincinnati is doing right now. And potentially sort of a package deal scenario. Just like I mentioned with Rob Mullins and Mario Cristobal at Oregon, which is, a huge, wild, crazy scenario. But I just wanted to put it out there. This would also be a potential package deal here with these 2 guys. So that's very interesting.
And then the third person is actually Alan Holler, which is the athletic director for Michigan State.
Ooh, okay. That's another one that I have not considered.
Do your homework on these guys. I mean, look where Michigan State is right now. They're actually favored to beat Ohio State right now. So,
Okay, interesting. Another one that I am going to have to do a little more research on. And it's why, honestly, I wanted to do a stream talking about potential athletic directors, because I try to be blunt and honest with people. Again, I can talk head coaches all day, but when it comes to athletic directors, I I don't know all of them. I'm not super well versed on every single athletic director in the country and their history and where they've been in the past and all that. So I'm a little more familiar with Allen than I am with John Cunningham, but I do want to do some research on those two guys. That's a couple of interesting ones that you bring up tonight.
And there's actually one more I would say, only because, two more. The only reason why I say these two is because I know you said, like, oh, alumni, they haven't done well. But here's the thing. Mark Richt, he was too nice of a guy. He had no passion. Okay? And the coaches that do the best, or the athletic directors that do the best, are the ones with the passion. You know?
Now, are you talking about putting someone with that passion and fire at the athletic director position?
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, no, I'm all for that. That's something at the beginning of my stream when I was pushing, saying that's why I said I wanted a slightly younger guy. Like, don't give me a 65 or 70-year-old AD. And I want a guy that comes in and can just breathe new life into the sports programs at the University of Miami. Somebody who's got that fire, like you said, somebody who's got that passion.
Yeah, so the two names I'm thinking are Michael Irvin. Okay. His passion, man. Like, you can't deny that. Or the second one, I would say, it's probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but Ray Lewis.
Okay. Because I'm trying to keep it as honest as I can tonight. I'm actually not on board with those guys. I can agree with that the passion is there. They love the University of Miami. But I don't think that you take those guys and put them in the athletic director position. That's just a no-go for me personally.
This is what it takes.
But
to where the you.
I want to hear what everybody thinks, and this is
Miami
a platform for you to be
needs
able to
take their
speak
time
your
on
opinion.
the AD hire and the next coach at
Yes, sir, and
Let's not rush this process.
All right, well,
The you.
I mean, everyone have a great night, but yeah, just want to voice my opinion.
Absolutely.
And thank you for giving me that type of platform. But everyone just go do your homework on these guys, and I can promise you'll be impressed.
Definitely. Yeah, man. And you always have a platform here. You always have a voice here to call in and give your opinion, whether I agree, anyone else agrees or disagrees. Because at the end of the day, my friend, we all just want Miami to be on top again. And I say this multiple times, but we all have different ideas of what it takes to get there. So thank you so much for calling in, man. And enjoy the rest of your night. And yeah, let's celebrate. Let's have fun tonight.
Yes, sir.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah, let's look at it on YouTube. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, man. So even if we disagree with these suggestions, guys, like for me, there's no way. Like Ray Lewis, Michael Irvin, like, no, I don't want them touching athletic director. No, sir. Not at all. But I still want to hear his opinion. You know what I mean? Why does he want them to be there? I want to talk it out. I do need to give also a shout out to Chug Mo Beer, one of the biggest supporter of Miami Hurricanes YouTubers, period. Give me just a second, Alex, and I got your call, man. Chug Mo Beer with the 5. Thank you. He said, great news today. The head of the snake is gone. Bye-bye, Blake James. Manny, you're next. I'm waving to him, Chug Mo Beer. I'm waving to him for you. I'll give him the peace symbol. Peace out, bro. Chug Mo Beer, thank you for the 5. And my friend Carrie Bell. No way. Carrie, with the $20, Miami needs to take their time on the AD hire. Yes, please. Let's not rush this, Carrie. It's got to be right. And the next coach at let's not rush the process. 100%. Thank you for the love, man. That's something I can't preach enough. Got to take our time and got to make the right hire. 100%. So my man Alex Perez is on the line with us tonight. Alex, how you feeling about this news? I mean, I know you're a Miami Hurricanes fan, so nobody's sad about it, right?
I feel so good. I feel so good.
You can breathe a sigh of relief, right? Like I'm gonna be honest with you, man. After the FSU loss, I was all like just pent up and tense and mad like all day.
I felt empty inside watching the FSU players in the stands celebrating with the fans. And I know people that go to FSU, and I was talking trash on my social media. The amount of messages I got saying, keep talking your shit, you were wrong, blah, blah, blah.
Dude,
but
literally, you should see my DMs. Let me go. Hold on. I won't be able to hear you for just a second. I'm going to pull my earbuds out. Those of you that missed the video, literally, guys, my hair is red. Do you understand that? Like, I had so much writing on that. Let me turn, because you can't see it. I'm going to show my hair again. You can't, it doesn't look red. Let me turn the light on. Hold on. Look at that. Do you see that? My hair is red. So, yeah, man, I was super upset about losing to FSU. But you know what? You know what? We fired our athletic director today, Blake James. You know what? We're going to get to rebuild from the ground up. We get to press the reset button. So with that being said, I'm ecstatic. I'm in an excellent mood. I'm ready to party.
You're not alone, Coop. You're not alone, bro.
So I got to talk to you for a minute, Alex. Do you have a dream hire at this athletic director position, or do you have a top 2 or top 3 list or anything like that you want to hit me with tonight?
I have a top 3.
Top 3, okay.
And my number 3 guy is someone probably a lot of people haven't heard of, but it's kind of like a guy that I think if he were to be hired, I'd be like, okay, that's good. And my number 1 and 2 could basically be 1A, 1B.
Ooh, okay.
Like I'm that high on him. And I haven't been here for the whole stream, so I don't know your choices, or I only know the last few callers, so I might repeat one or two.
Look, that's perfectly fine. Don't worry about that, because of course, when we go live, we have people coming in and out throughout the night. So don't worry about if somebody else has already talked about it. That's no problem. But what I'd like to do, I don't know how you were going to approach this, but I think we start at number 3 and we work our way down to number 1. What do you think?
That's exactly how I was going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hit me with that number 3 athletic director hire.
Okay, so number 3 is Patrick Chun. He's the AD at Washington State.
Ooh.
And I know it's not the flashiest hire, but he does have experience with the fact that he was at Ohio State for about 15 years. During that period where they were going to national championships and constantly in BCS bowl games. And he wasn't the athletic director there, but he was the assistant AD. So it is a lot of experience. And then I think you're going to be happy about this one, Coop. He was the AD at FAU when they hired Lane Kiffin.
Oh, I see where we're going with this. So
he has a connection to Lane Kiffin.
Okay,
so realistically, he's not in my top 3 just because he won't come. Dream top 3, yeah, but realistic top 3, he's not there.
Hey, now don't put that bad juju out into the universe, Alex. Come on now.
Lane Kiffin for head coach.
That's interesting, though. Okay, so you bring up a good point there about, see, this is why I wanted to do the live stream, Alex, and this is why I wanted to bring, hundreds of people in this chat. Is so, I didn't know this. I didn't think about Pat Chun having ties with Lane Kiffin with hiring him there, at FAU. So that's interesting. That's a scenario I had not played out, that I hadn't thought about. Okay.
Yeah, and then my number 2 guy is Mac Rhodes from Baylor.
Sorry, go ahead. I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
So when looking for an AD, you really want a guy that obviously has the focus on football, but can help out in all around sports. Because Blake James didn't just mess up football. He messed up basketball. He messed up baseball, which also had a proud tradition at the University of Miami. And Mac Rhodes, Baylor, think about their resources with football. They don't really have a lot, yet they just beat Oklahoma. And they've been a very consistently good team. And they've made it to a New Year's Six Bowl under him. And that's an outstanding resume. And the Baylor basketball team, they just won the national championship in basketball.
And I'll tell you what, Alex, I know you said you missed the first part of the stream. I already had a tab open for Mac Rhodes because he is in my top 3.
All right, so we're lining up
Yep,
here.
I am also a fan of this guy as well for several reasons that you outlined and some additional ones as well. So I like your one. You said 1B, so it's kind of a toss up between that number 1 and number 2. So we got Pat Chun, we got Mac Rhodes. Who is in that number 1 spot for you?
Coop, I think you already know. It's the man, the myth, the former Miami Hurricane himself, Alonzo Highsmith, who has NFL experience. He really wants this job. He's been at a top executive level. He knows the college system inside and out. He has those NFL connections, like I said. And he's a former Cane who wants to be there. He wants that position.
And there is no denying that Alonzo Highsmith, in my personal opinion, would take the athletic director job in an instant, in a heartbeat, because he's expressed it openly that he wants it. He puts it out there. He said, "I'll take it. Give it to me. I'll right this ship. I'll turn things around."
He talks to fans at tailgates. He was on the Orange Bowl Boys podcast talking to them about how he wants the job. Like, it's literally out there. All the University of Miami needs to say is, "Hey, you got the job, man."
Yeah, and I mean, he's been hanging around campus and the games and the players and stuff a lot over these last few weeks, even more so than normal. He is a guy that is also in my list of top 5 athletic directors. The only thing that I hate with him is he doesn't actually just have straight athletic director experience. But I will say that I want him, if possible, involved in some type of way. I don't know exactly what it would be, but in some sort of way, I think that man does need to be involved with our sports somehow.
Yeah.
So,
and I just want to throw this out there. This is just something that I read now. This isn't anyone on my list, but Tim Reynolds put out a tweet that said the FAU athletic director is someone that's being looked at as a potential candidate. So I'm just putting that out there into the universe.
Okay,
just
I got you.
Know.
So yeah, that's a solid list. Obviously, I mean, two of them were on my list as well, so that's good. Like you said, kind of synced up, thinking the same. So Alex, my man, appreciate you calling in, giving me your top 3 athletic directors for the University of Miami. Tonight is a night of celebration. To be excited about this program again, because we're getting to start over to an extent. So let's enjoy tonight, guys. Let's enjoy it. Alex, I appreciate you calling in, my man.
All right, have a good night, brother.
You too, man. All right, bye-bye. Okay, so I'm seeing some people mention that callers are naming the same names, like from other streams or from other things. You have to understand that a lot of Miami fans have the same top 3 or the same top 5, and they might not be in the same order. Hear me out. They might not be in the same order, but a lot of people were throwing around Mac Rhodes. Of course, people were throwing around Alonzo Highsmith. I've seen other people mention Rob Mullins. We're looking for somebody big time. So a lot of us are thinking these same big time names. Firefighter Kane, what's good, man? Appreciate you being here. And Fresh 3542. As always, man. Appreciate you. But yeah, that's interesting. I like whenever we kind of line up and we've got the same idea when it comes to some of these athletic directors. So let's take another phone call. Let's take a few more tonight. Give me, if you don't make it through, please give me your list in the chat. Please, please, please. Because I'm just curious. I want to gauge the Miami Hurricanes fan base. What's going on? Who we got on the line tonight?
Oh, hey, what's going on? This is Rocky Top in the nearby neighbor, Sevier County.
I gotcha. So, yeah, not too far out from me. I hit up Sevier County pretty regularly, actually. So that's good to hear. We're kind of sort of neighbors, just long distance neighbors.
Yeah, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, but we just moved up here about 3 years ago and loving it. So,
gotcha, nice. It's a beautiful area, right? Like all the leaves changing and stuff over the last few weeks. Man, it's gorgeous.
But as far as the coach goes to just naming names, the only one I really have is one, of course, you've been hearing a lot is is Alonzo, and mainly I remember I watched Cam Underwood kind of give his reasons why he wants Zoe, and he kind of got me on board with it. Just the connections. With the NFL, obviously you have to have a lot of connections on the collegiate level as well.
Yeah.
Obviously for not recruiting, but drafting and all. So I know he's going to have connections on the collegiate level, knowing different coaches, assistants, and so forth. Of course, the business side. He works on the business side of the NFL, so he'll know the budgeting and all. I think he'll do good with that. But more so than anything, I think that whoever is hired as head coach not head coach, but head coach or an athletic director. It doesn't necessarily have to be like the sexiest name. I think it has, especially with coach, it has more to do with their personality, what they want to bring out of the players, than it has to do with what their record is at their current college or wherever they are now. That's not. I don't think that's the biggest important thing. I mean, look at the guy, the Godfather, who built Miami to what he is now. No head coaching experience in college. Finished, I think, it was like 4-13 or something in the NFL before he became the Miami Hurricane head coach, being Howard Schnellenberger. But he brought in that attitude. He brought in that passion. He brought in, that mindset that we're going to close off Miami to the rest of the country, and we're going to get all the top recruits. So I think it has more to do with your attitude, more to do with what you want to bring into the program, what you want to get out of the program, more so than say, my current team is 11-2 or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And you do bring up a point when it comes to kind of attitude and what they bring with their energy and stuff like that, because I keep preaching that I want someone with a proven resume. But I will say when I say that, I want someone that has a background as an athletic director or something similar, because I don't want them learning on the job. However, when we're talking about records and things like that and stuff that they've done in the past, there is a little bit of leeway in there for me if it is a high energy guy. Like you said, a guy that's passionate, a guy who, is not going to sit down when they do these conferences and just give these normal standard answers like he's reading from a teleprompter, right? I want somebody to come in here who's excited about being an athletic director, super vocal guy. And I will kind of trade off shave off a little bit of that experience in record-related stuff when we're talking a guy who brings those traits to the table.
And, I don't really necessarily want a Debbie Downer, but I want somebody who, like you were saying, when they go into those press conferences and Miami didn't play up to the level they're supposed to be at, that he'll be ready to say, you know what, we sucked. We did not play at the level we're supposed to. I don't really hate Manny, but when he comes in there, we did good in this. No, if y'all played bad, y'all played bad. Admit it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like I said, just bring in the right guy, even if where they're at now may not necessarily be the best. I know somebody was saying, "Oh, well, Tennessee sucks now." Well, I think they're heading in the right direction. So I mean, I don't think Danny White will come after only 1 year at Tennessee, and he's got the football program. I think going in the right direction.
Right.
But I don't think you necessarily have to look at how successful they are at their current place to determine who you're going to hire.
So would you say, though, rolling back just a little bit into the conversation, would you say that Alonzo Highsmith is your number one hire for athletic director?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like you said, like everybody's been saying, he wants the job, and that's one thing. We definitely want somebody who wants to be there for a while, because this ain't going to happen overnight. This is not going to be a year one, year two transformation. It's going to take a few classes. It's going to take, possibly, one or two head coaches, maybe multiple assistant coaches changes. And it's not going to happen overnight. So somebody who's going to want to be here for a while, and then hopefully we can get a head coach like that, because we haven't really had one, whether they left voluntarily or fired, haven't had one for that very many years.
Man, we need, and that's why I keep preaching, saying to take our time with this, and it's got to be the right guy, because I'm not going to lie, it's a tough job to take if we're talking about, I mean, we could talk about athletic director as well, but also this part's mainly focusing on head coach. It would be a tough job to take because at this point, Miami fans are kind of sick and tired of waiting. You know what I mean? Like it's been 20 years since we've officially won a national championship. So what I keep seeing Canes fans say, like when we had Golden or Rick or Manny, the one consistent thing is that we're tired of waiting. We want to be good now. Yeah. We want results instantly. However, the point I want to make is that if we can get a team in here, so we'll throw athletic director and coaching and head coach together. If we can get a team in here that the fans really like, that we believe in, it's not just a car salesman. It's not just blowing smoke up our booty and telling us everything we want to hear. And like we said, can be high energy and passionate, and we feel like truly cares and can steer us in the right direction. I think that fans can settle down just a tad and taper their expectations a little and wait it out. Now, I'm not saying, again, obviously national championship or bust every year. Like, that's what we're shooting for, right? But I feel like if he comes out, it takes a little bit to get things rolling, but everything's looking good. We addressing the things that we just talked about, then maybe fans will actually be okay with kind of letting this play. Because like you said, it's going to take a little bit. It's the chances of bringing in a new athletic director, a new head coach, cleaning the house and a whole new coaching staff, and then we win a national championship in 2022, how realistic is that actually? Let's be real here.
And, I guess the main last point, or last 2 points I should say, that I wanted to bring up definitely was, I know this ain't going to happen. This is not reality. But if I could wish one thing of our fan base, of the Miami fan base, actually, honestly, is amnesia. Because when they bring in a new head coach and a new athletic director, and it's because this happened the last, 5 coaches, we seem to blame them not only for their failures, but for failures of coaches and athletic directors that came before them that they weren't even there to be a part of. I mean, every time we say it's been 20 years, well, you got to think there's also been Randy Shannon, Al Golden. There was I know there was one athletic director right before this one. So you have multiple athletic directors, you have multiple head coaches. They're all collectively made up that 20-year period. But yet then we go to the new head coach who wasn't even there and be like, oh, well, it's been 20 years. Well, he wasn't there for 20 years.
Right.
Mark Riggs wasn't there for 20 years. Al Golden wasn't there for the whole 20 years. So I think I would love to, just have a little bit of amnesia and give whoever's hired a legitimate chance and not put the weight of the last 20-plus years on their shoulders already and make their jobs even more difficult. And, just give them a chance to build it. 'Cause like we both have said, it's going to take some time. And don't wait, 2-3 years from now. Oh, well, it's been 24 years now.
Yeah, but we do have to have a guy in there that we firmly believe in, that we feel like that if that it's positive momentum year after year. Basically, don't be Manny Diaz.
Been my NCAA 14
and just remember, I don't know, of course, we don't want, I know you mentioned about you don't want Butch Davis in there now, which I'm not really completely for or against him. But remember, we wanted him out in year 3 or 4. It took him toward his fifth or sixth year before he had that team, Dorsey and all of them. It took him, 3 or 4 years. It may take this next head coach, though. Right now, we got a pretty damn good quarterback and backfield.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to take some time to rebuild that defense, though.
Might I add? I already said this yesterday in my video, but picture Lane Kiffin with Tyler Van Dyke and Jake Garcia. Boom. Listen, I'm mostly just messing with everybody because nobody likes my Lane Kiffin pick. But I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying.
I personally like Stoops simply because he is actually doing something at a basketball school in the ACC.
I got you. So, hey, man, I appreciate you calling in tonight. I'm going to try to rotate in a few more people, kind of put out a feeler and see. Most people seem to be leaning towards still Alonzo Highsmith is a name that continues to get mentioned because, as you already said, We know that he wants the job. He loves the University of Miami. And still some people mentioning some surprise names as well, though, that has really kind of piqued my interest tonight. So
my first time calling, been watching you, especially during the games. Definitely have to try calling back again at some point later on down the road.
Absolutely, man. I enjoyed the conversation, and you have yourself a good night.
All right, you too. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I got so many tabs open over here of potential athletic directors that I need to close some of these out. I can't tell what's going on my other monitor. I need to give a quick shout out here to Alex Perez, who donated $5 and says, Coop, in my NCAA 14 dynasty, I won the Natty in 2022 with Bill O'Brien. Anything is possible. Fair. Now I heard someone ask, someone was asking me a question about locking down recruiting or something. Where was that question? Where was that at? Someone also said, oh, okay, I have two things I want to address in the chat. Someone was saying, how many players are we going to lose when Manny gets fired? And here's my question I'm going to fire back at that. If they are here just for Manny, with the kind of product that's been on the field with Manny, are we that worried about it? Think about it. I think that the majority of the players that are here, even though they love Manny, they're going to back up their head coach. So love is kind of a strong word. They support him. He's their current head coach. I don't think we lose that many players to the portal. I don't. And if we lose recruits because they were recruited by Manny and they want to play for Manny, with the kind of product that we've seen on the field with what Manny can do and accomplish, bro, I'm not trying to hate, but I mean, they can go play somewhere else. Right? B-Do Miami says, I want people interested in winning. Just saying. It's not throwing shade. I'm just being blunt and honest. Guys, if we want to be on top, we can't sugarcoat things. We can't worry about those things. We got to bring in someone who is a winner. And if it means that other people are going to hit the door and leave, then leave. Am I alone in feeling this way? I can't be. Because so many people, so many people are worried about, well, what if this guy leaves? What if this guy, what if Corey Flagg, who was very vocal about backing up Manny, says, I'm transferring. If you guys fire him, then transfer. Transfer. So the question was, of your coaches, who would be the best at locking down South Florida talent, in my opinion? Ooh, good question. So you want to know out of my coaching list who would be the best? Out of my coaching list, it's going to be kind of tough a little bit when you're looking at like Mario Cristobal or Lane Kiffin. I think that it would be Lane Kiffin for me personally. Because honestly, just for the fact of Lane Kiffin is a terrific recruiter. You want to play for Lane Kiffin, especially when we're talking offensively. When we're talking skill position players, when you're talking quarterbacks and receivers, bro, Lane Kiffin could lock it down. However, Mario has ties just in South Florida, period. So Mario Cristobal could also do the same when it comes to recruiting. So maybe that's not the type of answer that you're looking for because I'm riding the fence a tad. But Mario and Lane Kiffin, that's kind of a toss-up for me. That could be close because honestly, Mario might have more ties to South Florida. I know that, Lane coached at FAU and whatnot, but Lane Kiffin is also just an amazing recruiter, period. Point blank. So, why would Lane Kiffin leave Ole Miss for Miami? I did an entire video about it yesterday, Fury. So I'm not trying to push to get views on the video. It would just be way easier for you to watch that video than for me to spend the next half hour explaining to you why I think that Lane Kiffin would potentially leave Ole Miss. Am I guaranteeing he would? No. Nothing's a guarantee, but nothing's impossible either. So I'm just saying. So definitely check. Yeah, both. You, Canes fan, you. Thank you for the awesome question, man. Awesome question. Ole Miss is why. Ole Miss is why Lane Kiffin would leave Ole Miss, right? Let me catch up on the chat a little bit before we open the phone line back up. Romeo says, once again, Coop, it depends if we're going for a similar style to Manny that's an upgrade. That's Mario, but Kiffin is an offensive guru, 100%. Stoops and get Brady from the NFL for OC. I wouldn't hate that. Rocky Top Kane, I would not hate that. J Flo says Mario hands down for recruiting. What else do we have? What else we got? You've honestly enjoyed this season? In what way, though, Mike? What do you mean by enjoyment? Elaborate. Explain. As your new coach, Luke Fickell. I'm not against Luke Fickell. Luke Fickell is someone that I have talked about. He's probably just outside my top 3, top 5. But it's a name worth mentioning, and it's a guy worth feeling out and making the phone call to see. You know? Miami has to bring the bag for Lane. So let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that money is an issue for Miami when it comes to us hiring an athletic director and head coach this time around? Do you think that money is an issue? I want to see. I want to see. Because there are people that are telling me we can't afford to pay $5.5 million a year for a coach. Do you think it's an issue? Yes or no? Are you telling me? Can you sit here and tell me to my face? I understand that money has been an issue in the past, but it's only because they don't want to spend it. I'm not asking if they will or will not spend it or if they want to spend it. I'm asking you if the money is a problem. Do we not have the money? We have the money. It has just always been where we put it. And it's not been enough into the football program. So here's my take on it. We're cleaning house, bro. We fired our athletic director. Manny Diaz is going to be let go. Do you think that we're going to go through all that trouble just to say that we won't spend more than $3 million a year on a head coach, which means that gets us that again? Do you see what I'm saying? I don't think we pull the trigger on that unless we are finally willing and ready to pony up a little more when it comes to the football program. I could be wrong, but I know we have the money. That's not an issue. It's just, will they spend it? And I think, I hope and pray that they are showing that they are ready and willing to drop some cash on a big-time hire, both for athletic director and head coach. And that's just my take. That's my take on it. We have the money. You guys don't even have your own stadium. Here we go. It was only a matter of time until the haters started rolling in, because Miami feels like they got some positivity going and some momentum, some things are going well. So here they are. Lane's personality plus Miami attitude. Boom, J-Flow. That's exactly what I said in my video yesterday. Miami fans would embrace Lane Kiffin's attitude. I know he lost the Alabama game, but did you guys watch Ole Miss versus Alabama when they interviewed him on the field and Lane Kiffin took his headset and said, "Get your popcorn ready," and he threw the headset up into the air and left the interviewer just standing on the field? I want a dude who will do stuff like that, honestly. I want a guy in the post-game interview that says, never mind, I better stop there. I'm going to stop there. There's a ton of trolls here. Firing an AD is momentum. Ling Ding, you must know nothing about Miami Hurricanes football if you think that it is bad that we fired our athletic director. Are you kidding me? This dude, Ling Ding, is in here trying to troll us by defending Blake James. The man just proved he knows absolutely nothing about our program. Absolutely. We haven't even made a hire yet, and I can already tell you getting Blake James out of here is a good thing. Sorry, it is. Okay, whatever. Say whatever you want to say. That's fine. You control all you want. I'm trying to decide if we should keep taking calls. How long have we been live? This was just a spur of the moment. I was actually in the middle of working on a Virginia Tech preview video. And then all of a sudden, all this news came out, and I was like, wait a minute. That's going to have to get set to the side. There's more important things to talk about right now. But we do have a game this week. And I'm very interested to read Manny Diaz's body language, this entire coaching staff, the players, and kind of see how they respond, knowing that things have been put in motion with Blake James being officially fired. So how does this coaching staff respond? How do the players respond this Saturday against Virginia Tech? So I still need to do the preview video. And you want me to be honest? I think that packing the rock is a good idea. And it's because we want to encourage this type of behavior. We want to show the University of Miami that, you know what? We weren't fans of Blake James. We were very vocal about it on social media and just everywhere. You canned him. We're going to show up. Now, it's only part of the deal, right? It's not complete. It's not done. There are more things that need to happen, but we need to show that we support this type of behavior. Does that make sense? We need to show that this is what we want, and they're actually doing what we've been calling for them to do. They did it. But we got to finish this. We got to take our time with these new hires. Let's get the right people in place, and let's not rush it. Please. So the way I would like to end this, I'm actually going to wrap it up for tonight, guys. We've been live for about 2 hours. I actually have a whole lot of work to do tonight after this stream, and it's already almost midnight for me. So if you didn't get an opportunity to call in, I apologize. We go live several times a week on this channel, so please feel free to pop back in, and I'll try to take your phone call. But what I would like to do is for everyone to put your top pick for athletic director in the chat right now to wrap this up. For possibly people watching this VOD after the fact, thank you for doing that if you are. And for everyone that I maybe missed or didn't get to have a one-on-one conversation with. You guys already saw my list. I'll read it off one more time in no particular order. I'll make a video later this week about my actual, like, here's number 1, here's number 2, here's number 3. But in no particular order, at this very moment, Alonzo Highsmith, Rob Mullins from Oregon, possibly a package deal with Mario Cristobal, but that's a dream deal, right? Taking Oregon's AD and head coach. Mac Rhodes from Baylor, which is a very, very realistic option, or possibly Joe from Oklahoma. Now, I will look at some of these other names suggested because some of these were not on my radar, but that's my current 4 in no particular order. But I want to see what you guys have to say. Anyone that I missed. Rocky Top K904 says Alonzo. Let's see. Shiano. I mean, that's something that we can talk about as well. Some of those talks have dropped off, though. Rob. Chudzinski. Okay. Alonzo. The John Cunningham, so Cincinnati's athletic director. Alonzo. Tag me on Twitter. Harrison Ford. Tag me on Twitter 100%. Because guys, when I ask this, I'm being serious. I want to know. Like, I consider you guys my friends and my family. So I want to know who you want. I value your opinion.
Coop, I'm so happy they need to let me design that new stadium.
All right.
I'm an architecture dropout, but I thought about this for years long.
Hey, okay, you're going to have to hit me up with them blueprints, D-Lo. Thank you so much for the 5, man. Appreciate you. Mark Stamper, thank you for the kind words. Somebody else, Maddie B says, Coop, you killed it. It's been a while. Thank you, man. This was a night of celebration, guys. We are in a good mood. We are happy about these changes that are happening. We're just having a grand old time around here, man. So, Alonzo, I'm reading the last few. Mac Rhodes, also on my list, as we talked about. Rob and Mario, the package deal. You all want to keep Rhett. Most people have said they're indifferent to it. Rhett stays, he stays. If he goes, he goes. But most people say go. We'd have to completely clean house and just get rid of everybody. Like, because then if you let people hang around, that creates a weird scenario. You know, it does. Tom Jurek? I'm not actually familiar with him, Revley. Hold on. Wait, is that who I think it is? Is that actually who I think it is? That was with Louisville at one point? Is that the one you're talking about? the AD at Louisville in 2017, but then kind of hasn't done much since then? Yes, Blake James has officially been fired. Yes, if you're just tuning in. Let's see. Mac works for you.
This is what it take to wear the U.
Let's go, man. Let's freaking go.
It's a great day to be a Miami Hurricane.
To be a Miami Hurricane is great. To be a Miami Hurricane. Are y'all sitting down? Are you guys seriously laying in bed right now? I can't believe you guys. I thought this was the hype squad. I thought you guys were the ones that were jumping up and down at, bro. I'm just so excited. I'm going to have trouble sleeping tonight. I'm going to be dreaming of athletic directors. I'm going to be dreaming of Lane Kiffin in orange and green. Bro, it's going to be so hard for me to sleep. Let's see. Who else do we have? Done with shotgun handoffs. Me too, bro.
This is what it takes.
100%. Firefighter Kane says
to wear the U
Alonzo.
On the side of your helmet.
Just hire the right guy, and not just the sexy pick right now. Also, if Nike wants to top Adidas money, then sure. Otherwise, pass.
Rocky Top Kane 904, thank you so much for the $5, sharing a piece of the pie, my man. If you guys roll back the stream a little bit, watch this after it uploads. We did discuss the possibility of when bringing in a new athletic director, if we reevaluate our Adidas deal. I don't know if that's a possibility. I don't know if it's a thing that could even happen. Our contract goes until 2027. Is that what I said? 2027. So maybe we rebuild and rebrand from top to bottom. I don't know. Maybe we stick with Adidas and we ask for more money. I don't know. I'm just saying. Don't take anything off the table. We have to really fully take this opportunity and run with it. Doodoo says Alonzo Highsmith. Josh Brooks. Okay. Mac Rhodes, also on my list, Carlos. Kiffin would bounce again after 3 years. I don't actually believe that if he was winning conference championships and in playoff talks. Lane Kiffin would have no reason to bounce at that point. He would finally be at a Power 5 school where he's at least in the talks of being at the top of his conference. He's at Ole Miss. What's he doing, man? He's behind Alabama. If he gets past Alabama, he's got to meet Georgia. What's he going to do there? What's he going to do? I think the Canes would rock Jordan. That's something that's also an interesting conversation. We have so much to talk about, guys, but I gotta end this stream because we'll just keep talking about it all night. Thank you so much for all the love tonight, guys. Graham owning the board with the $100 donation, but I want to give a personal shout out to everybody tonight, man. Rocky Top Kane 904, D'Lo 53, Alex Perez, Kerry Bell, Chugmo Beer, Mike Williams several times, LOL 305, Harrison Ford, Bobby Samarco, Santosh. Let's see who else. Bobby a couple more times, Disturbed Villain, Hurricane Logan, Nick Polly 48, and Hype Central. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. It truly is a wild ride being a Miami Hurricanes fan, guys. There's always ups and downs, but here we are, something hopefully turning into a positive for us. Blake James getting fired, and now we get to talk all week, the next couple of weeks possibly, about who our new athletic director is going to be. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to the stream tonight. Seriously, just enjoy this for a little bit. And if I didn't read yours off, make a list and tag me on Twitter because I want to see how my family feels. But you know my list, and I am not backing down. Big time higher. Go Canes, baby. I love y'all.